It's Australia's longest running car rally. It's outlived every other classic event in the country, the Red X Trials, the BP Rally, the Southern Cross and the Castrol. First held in 1921, the Alpine Rally was a trial run by the RACV, attracting 28 competitors. It ran for 7 straight days and covered a massive 1,000 miles. Nearly 100 years on, the legacy of those pioneering rallies lives large in Australia and underpins the very essence of rallying to its core. Welcome to the Alpine Rally of East Gippsland, set in the Victorian coastal holiday resort town of Lakes Entrance. The modern Alpine bears little resemblance to its earliest predecessor. These days the field is capped at 100, with dozens of hopefuls waiting for a dropout to provide their chance to compete. It's no longer 1,000 miles, but 450 kilometres compressed into 2, not 7 days. Perhaps a reflection of a century's change in lifestyle or the development of technology and corresponding cost. Whatever the reason, the result is clear. A cacophony of cars assembled in one place to try their luck at winning this revered event. There are Porsches, Datsuns, Fords, Toyotas, Hondas, Mazdas, Holdens, BMWs, Mitsubishis, Suzukis. There are even 2 Fiats, a couple of Triumphs and a lone Alfa, Peugeot and Merc. Let's not forget the Plymouth Fire Arrow, but we'll come back to that. You name it, it's here, and it's anyone's guess where our winner will come from.
Anywhere inside the top 15, I think, is a very good effort, and it's an incredibly long rally. So just to make the end without an issue is going to be a huge effort in itself.
Jack Monkhouse has never won the Alpine, and he's been trying since 2007. Now run only every other year, it's a long time between drinks. Jeff David won in 2013, his Porsche carrying him and Grant Geerland to victory after consistently staying top 3 all rally. Mechanical failure and a crash sidelined the very fast Alistair McRae and Ben Barker, allowing Jeff David to register his name alongside a coveted list of drivers over the best part of a century of competition. But the reigning champion is under no illusion about the task at hand.
Classic rallying is all about having fun. We're not here to win sheep stations or to get a drive in the WRC. We're here to drive cars that we've owned and built and to have some fun and to do a few skids.
He and Grant Geerland must be considered one of the favourites. Their Porsche 911 is a stronger, faster car than last time. But the competition is stronger too. Alan Friend and Michelle Canning return to lead the charge in a Nissan Silvia. And even without McRae and Barker here this year, Friend is pragmatic about their chances.
I think it's probably a harder event this year to win than it was that year, to be honest. So we'll see how we go.
There's an array of talented drivers, including Jack Monkhouse, wanting to finish on the top step of the podium come Sunday afternoon.
You do have to take risks, but you have to scale back the risks because it can end up ugly.
Mike Conway has led the Alpine in the past in his BDA-powered Escort, complete with 6-speed sequential gearbox. He and Jenny Cole can't be underestimated.
The plan is to go as fast as we can, safely, try and conserve the car a little bit to make sure that we don't actually create any problems, and the plan is to be at the front.
Luke Satima has big shoes to fill driving Jeff Portman's winning car from 2011.
I'm not saying we can win it, but we're hoping to be there at the end.
From New South Wales, former Australian rally champion Michael Bowden has brought his classic Escort out for the first time since 2008, but doesn't rate his chances.
I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge, especially for me. It's probably my first unnoted event for a couple of years. It'll be good.
Wayne Hoy wants to take the trophy back to Coffs Harbour, but even driving a powerful Datsun 240Z with 2 previous thirds and a second doesn't give him the right to assume anything.
There's that many quick drivers here that come to this event all on the same pace and not making any mistakes, keeping your nose clean and being there at the finish, I think.
Grant Walker's very passionate about escorts and just as passionate about his first attempt at the Alpine.
I haven't preset where I want to be or whatever. I just want to, at the end of the weekend, I'd like to say, hey, I did the very best I could and I ended up wherever. To do this, just absolutely fantastic, yeah. Pinnacle of rallying in Australia for sure.
There's plenty of chatter in the ranks about Clay Badenoch. But despite being the current ARC Classic Series champion, the Queenslander is not kidding himself.
I haven't done a blind rally, I doubt, in maybe 4 years or something. Only did maybe 3 or 4 and then started playing the ARC. So I am very nervous about that bit.
It's a full field with a diverse range of drivers, but not everyone has winning on their mind. There are 6 tarts on this event. The Tail Automotive Rally team is flying the flag for long-time event supporter Byron Bay Cookies. For them, winning is about participation and having a fun weekend. Mind you, they were down to 5 before the event even started. Car 26 out after a crash during Media Day rides. Never one to miss an opportunity, Brett Middleton is flying the flag for his MRT Automotive brand, but also his long-time association with Kumo and the McGrath Foundation.
It's not just about the corporate involvement, it's about getting involved in rallying and trying to find a link to do the right thing by the community. It's not very often that you can find a link between your passion and a local thing that is so well supported by the community with what McGrath Foundation do with their breast care and all these nurses for both male and female.
There might be only one all-girl crew here this weekend, but Kim Day and Alison Lewarrick don't go unnoticed on the opening special stage around the streets of Lakes Entrance. It's a stage on seal, unlike the rest of the event, and designed to showcase the drivers and their skills on tarmac to the crowd. Times do count, but will hardly reflect the next 2 days of competition. Mike Conway and Grant Walker open their accounts with fastest time, but they're matched by Cade Barrett in the unusual Plymouth Fire Arrow. Looking remarkably like a 1600 Mitsubishi Lancer Celeste, the American derivative has a supersized 2600cc engine transplanted under the bonnet, and with it some astonishing times. Only 4 seconds separate the top 20 cars, but of more interest are those putting on a show. Best spin and recovery to Jesse Roberson in the Datsun 1600. The real showtime, though, is in the morning when the competitors in the Alpine Rally take to the forest roads of East Gippsland. Back in a moment. It's a picture-perfect paradise in the inner harbour of Lakes Entrance, an idyllic place to begin the Alpine Rally. Cars framed against a sea of blue and green. All 105 cars have been assembled on the Foreshore Reserve to showcase the huge range of makes and models taking part.
To Owen and his team of organisers who've brought this together very well. To run an event like this is a very big logistical exercise. Have a great weekend, enjoy our region, enjoy our hospitality, frequent our businesses and make sure you come back. Thank you.
With formalities dispensed with, competitors have flagged off at 2-minute intervals the time between each car out on the road. 11 special stages make up the first day, all to the east of Lakes Entrance. The 2 opening stages are centred around Nowa before a service in Orbost. SS4 and 5 lead to service in Can River before a loop through Wing and Link and Bismuth and a second service back at Can River. Serpentine and Murrungoa make up another 60 kilometres of competition. A final service back in Orbost in preparation for the evening stages. SS2 Old Buchan is 15 kilometres in length and winds through the back of Mount Nowa. Defending champion Jeff David leads off in car 1. The natural chicane just 2 k's from the start means cars bear right off the main road and rejoin 50 metres further on. No issue for the Porsche, but not so for the next car on the road.
300, bear right off main road, so we're bearing right off main road in one. Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, we're going to turn left. You've gone the wrong. Sorry.
Alan Friend and co-driver Michelle Canning gather themselves up and press on to the finish.
Stuff that up completely. We're going to get pinked for that now.
Wayne Hoy is next. No problem for the Z, and he and Andrew Bennett record a time 2 seconds quicker than Friend. Michael Bowden makes the bear right, but fails to rejoin the main road. No issues for Luke Satima in a similar escort, but his time is 18 seconds off the pace. He is, however, the fastest of the first 6 cars on the road. Clearly those cars are losing time sweeping the loose gravel from the surface.
Should have been there. 300 bear right off main road. Oh, this is it. Sorry.
6th car on the road is Mike Conway, and he too misses the chicane. Conway and his co-driver Jenny Cole recover with minimal loss of time, but a moment further on is more serious.
Come on, get around. Sorry.
The lower control arm has broken and taken with it a brake hose. Any chance of winning the Alpine, gone.
Sorry about that, Jim.
Clay Badenoch's chances of a win don't start well either. Somehow co-driver Andrew Dunbar has misread their start time, and one of the favourites is on the back foot from the get-go. No wheel spin starts are a feature of the Alpine Rally. It's designed to preserve the forestry roads from cars digging holes at the start line. For flamboyant drivers like Jack Monkhouse, it's not as much fun, but it's great for the road and officials.
Doing a start control last year, the no wheel spin roll, as much as it sucks the driver, it's fantastic for the road damage. They had a 100-car start and you couldn't even tell.
2 minutes.
Running on a shoestring budget in an underpowered Datsun, Monkhouse knows he must make time in the tight, twisty stages.
See you, Jeffrey. 1 kilometre next score.
The 180B might not have the legs of Jeff David's Porsche, but Monkhouse's car control is top shelf in the tighter sections, and he wins the opening gravel stage by a massive 10 seconds. Running further down the order plays into Cade Barrett's hands. He's second quickest behind Monkhouse in the unusual Plymouth Fire Arrow. Brett Middleton's another regular, although his MRT Group 2 Honda Civic is not strictly classic. It does carry good pedigree as a former championship rally car. Jesse Roberson is more often seen in the service park working with top-level rally teams in the ARC. This weekend, though, he swapped his spanners for the steering wheel. But things are in a spin early in a spot that's caught plenty before him. Losing direction is not the big issue. It's losing the drive in the Datsun 1600 that stops Roberson in his tracks. Actually, it stops him in the track, following drivers forced to go bush to get around. Hospital Creek weaves its way down to the Princess Highway, and at 37 kilometres is a challenge. For Wayne Hoy, a flat tyre cripples his time and drops him to 25th. Alan Friend wins SS3 by 6 seconds. It moves the Nissan driver up from 14th to 2nd outright. Cade Barrett takes over the lead, finishing the stage behind the Sylvia.
500, turn medium speed triangle right. 300, medium triangle right.
Monkhouse drops 3 positions with some moments, including clipping a stump. But it was failing to hear instructions from co-driver Dale Moscott that cost him the most time.
Oh, right. Oh, yep. Sorry. You're right. Sorry. 5K. Oh, leads onto a big straight bastard. I saw the sign and I'm like, oh, we're going left. Yeah.
Driving the 2011 winning Escort was not doing Luke Satima any harm at all. This time third fastest in stage, maintaining third outright. Jeff David closes the gap on the leaders. Despite excessive tyre wear from sweeping the roads, the Porsche is making good ground.
And opens.
Neil Sky is also on the move, up from 9th to 6th outright, with a time just 5 seconds behind David. Service at Orbost won't help the Victorians, but Jack Monkhouse is definitely happy with his start.
The first stage was really good. We enjoyed that. It was a shyer flowing stage to start with, which is obviously my element of driving from South Australia. So we really sort of just focused on trying to keep it tidy and make the most of that really good road. And this is the first time I've run this car on these Pirellis, and they've been sensational, which is really good. And one of the other major things which has been improving is we put a PPG dog box in it, and that's just been huge. It's had the same very basic gearbox in this car for 15 years, and I'm pretty disappointed with myself that I didn't change it a long time ago.
It might say Plymouth Fire Arrow, but in reality, this wolf in sheep's clothing can really punch above its weight.
I think we were second on that second stage there today as well, so I'm happy with that so far anyway. Very happy.
Tasmanian Cade Barrett has a 13-second lead over Alan Friend as cars head back out into the forest for the longest stage of the event, Glenarty, but not before a quick blast through the 12-kilometre special stage, Coulson's. Cade Barrett dominates both stages, extending his overall lead. Fortunately, the prospect of dust hasn't eventuated.
We haven't had too much of a drama with dust. Obviously, there's a bit about, but 2 minutes is plenty enough time for it to clear. Against the odds, Jeff David is only 8 seconds behind the Flying Fire Arrow through SS4. Not bad for a first car on the road. A classic rally wouldn't be classic without a rotary, and Stephen Porter makes his presence felt just 1 second further behind. Andrew Daniel is another who shows that seedings are not always accurate. Car 77, a Stanza, is equal with a Sylvia of Alan Friend, currently lying second. And only 14 seconds off the lead pace is Hayden Taylor in another Datsun. This one a Bluebird, being guided by the experienced Lee Tierney. There's a saying in rallying, when an engine destroys itself, that it suffered from electrical issues. It's the term given to a conrod smashing through the engine block and knocking the alternator off. It's a light-hearted way to describe an otherwise terminal and usually very expensive moment. Sadly for Michael Bowden, his Cosworth engine suffers just such an electrical issue, and his aspiration to finish the Alpine goes up in a puff of engine smoke. SS4 is tough on cars. Rookie Simon Gardner's event all washed up when he misses the bridge. He and Katie Fletcher are fine and wet, but the Datsun has taken a dunking. Wayne Hoy reinflates his chances, bouncing back with the third fastest after his flat tyre, just 1 second behind the Porsche. But now a puncture in SS5 drops him to 12th. Worse still, another puncture 100 metres after the finish, and now no spare. In a magnanimous gesture that highlights rally camaraderie, Monkhouse gives Hoy his only spare to keep him in the competition. The 240Z's time is matched by its smaller brother, one of a handful of Datsun 1600s. Carl Stewart and Anna Ritson will be happy with that, although continuing issues with fuel delivery are causing concern. RX-7s become a feature of SS5. Stephen Porter does even better, this time second fastest, with Rowan Woolard in a later model Mazda just 5 seconds behind. It's early days for me with the car. It was originally, I got fifth there right here last year with Pete Sky, so he did pretty good, and it's just different driving, come from the Datsun to the Mazda, so, but no, it's getting there. Matching his third fastest time is Neil Skye, and he's happy given some serious brake issues.
Quite frustrating, so we're braking, having to pump the pedal 4 times before every corner, so it's, anyway, it works when we get the pressure up to them.
Circulating in the top 20 hardly sounds impressive until you consider the field is more than 5 times that size. That's exactly what the father and son combo from Bathurst has been doing all morning in their 350Z powered Nissan Silvia. Andrew is driving with Dad David guiding, and it's working through SS5 when they break into the top 10 fastest cars on event.
All yours 3Ks.
We're quickly establishing the top 10 most spectacular Alpine exits, and Hayden Taylor and Lee Tierney are right in the hunt.
Sorry, mate.
Once again, the safety equipment on board means the damage is contained to the car, and perhaps a little dented pride. And a less than spectacular exit for the Kumho tyre-backed MRT Automotive Civic. Comfortably hovering between top 10 and 20 all morning, Brett Middleton finds himself the victim of mechanical failure in the final morning stage, Glenarty.
Could have been a lot worse. There's no dents. It's got a broken black hatch because one of the cars driving past threw a rock up, but yeah, no, we lost all the gears in the gearbox on the 5th stage halfway through. We're having a really good run and the car's been fantastic, but unfortunately that's motorsport.
Originally running at 59 kilometres, the Glenarty stage was shortened to 44 after a tree fell across the road overnight. For many, it's the difference between make or break with tyre wear.
The roads have been good. It was good that last stage was shortened. That was a bit of a bonus for everyone, I think. Very hard on tyres, yes. Yeah, it might be the right foot, I'm not sure. We've had I think 4 spins this morning and shredded tyres, and went down a grader scrape instead of a road.
Yeah, the roads are fantastic. Bit slippery for us being car 1 on the road. And the weather's a bit warmer than I anticipated, so we're using the tyres a bit more, but we're having a wonderful time.
And it's not just our rally leaders having a wonderful time at the Alpine Rally of East Gippsland. The field is full of drivers and their teams experiencing the joys of gravel rally. More Alpine action in a moment. While competition is the backbone of any motorsport event, there can generally only be one winner, and the Alpine Rally is no different. People come from all over the country, and even other countries, to sample a taste of a rally revered as one of the best in Australia. So what's the ingredient that attracts people to race their cars sideways along forest roads on gravel? Deriving pleasure from their chosen sport and cars is clearly a high priority, and they all have their own story.
This is a 1966 Lotus Cortina with a 1600 twin cam engine. Sierra 5-speed. It was built as a rally car when Historic first started in Australia back in about 93. We've had it for about 10 or 12 years, I suppose, now. And done mainly all historic events in Victoria. We've done Classic Outback Trial last year, very unsuccessfully. But, well, I only did 2 days out of the 5 when we had a problem with a water pump, as you do on Lotuses. But the car's been a good car, pretty competitive, fantastic thing to drive. And yeah, there's just not many of them around anymore, so it's something that people are concerned that why do you throw it to the bush? But yeah, we still love it and drive it, and my son drives it as well, so we've really enjoyed the car for over the past few years. We're competitive against all the other 50-year-old motor cars that we run against, but the reason you run them is because you love them as the old cars, and they're easy to work on. They're getting a bit more expensive to maintain as they get older, but they're just great things to have.
This is the first time in the car, brand new car. 3 years in the building, good engine, good gearbox, yeah, really happy, and probably looking to take either this or the other car back to New Zealand again to do the Otago. So just getting some seat time in for this weekend. happy to be at the Alpine. A really great event, and there's all tomorrow to go, so we've got to get some new tyres on this thing and get the old girl going again. Malcolm was kind enough to introduce me to and sold me a car last year, and a year before last I ran the Otago over there and had a ball, and we hit it off straight away. He's a crazy bus driver from Dunedin, but he's in his own right. He's won a couple of national championships, a very good rallier, and you know, we just he gets on well. He does his job in the car, and I'm very pleased to have him sit alongside me, and it's certainly given me a lot more confidence with the calls and make sure things are right. He does get a bit excited. I did have to tell him to turn his mic down, and I'm pleased there's not many 2 calls that we're not reading pace notes for sucks and sucks. Yeah, so he's going all right, but yeah, happy to have him along.
I was a bit nervous for a start coming over and just thinking what I was, not knowing the roads, not knowing the terrain, but I'm adapting to it pretty well, and I think the roads are very similar to what we've got in New Zealand, and Pete's doing a great job. He's had a bit of a problem in that last stage with the coil lead coming off, but apart from that he's been certainly doing the job. Being involved with the Otago Rally for the last 27 years on the organising committee, I just thought it would be quite good to come over here and actually see how this rally works, bringing over some flyers for our rally next year in April. I'm looking forward to perhaps a few more of the Australians coming over and competing in that, particularly this year with Mick O'Herman and coming as our guest driver.
This is a Mark 1 Escort, and they're rare in themselves these days because there's only one in the field, all the rest are Mark 2s, fitted with the Cosworth BDG engine. So known as an RS 1600, but actually a 2-litre car all up. I've done all the Alpines, and I've done it in an RS 2000 as well, which is and I've done it in a twin cam, all Mark 1s. That's my car. So you stick with your type and you go with what you know, and they're just beautiful cars. They turn in, they can make an average driver look half decent. It's a new car, so we'd only done 40k of testing before this, so it's been well prepared but under tested if anything, and you know, so far fingers are crossed and it's going really well. It's getting used to it. It's a different gear stick, a whole different mechanism, but I seem to be getting the right gears now, so I'm just feeling the car. It's got probably double the power of the Pinto engine car, so it's got it. You know, it's just a matter of can the driver keep up with it. But it's got better brakes and better other things as well with the match. Royal Oak Floors is my business, and we're very lucky. We're in a good position in the market. We sell lots of wood, and we like trees, we like forests, we like rally cars. It's all, there's some symmetry there somewhere, surely. And it's just great to be able to do it and to promote your business at the same time.
This car, it's a Mark 1 Suzuki Swift GTI, competed in the BP Australian Rally Championship back in the 1990s, 1991 and 1990 class winners, and then the Victorian Rally State Rally Championship, 1993 and 1994. In 1995 we parked the car. The last time we ran in 1994, finished 5th outright and 1st in class. It's a very different event, different area. The event's much longer. It's 450 odd kilometres competitive. We're expecting just to get to the finish. The attrition rate so far today has been very high, and it's one to be quick, but it's also to be at the finish line on Sunday afternoon.
Finishing is important, but it's especially important to Matt Lee. This is the first event since a major crash earlier in the year, and his confidence is returning.
We're back on the horse.
Yeah. Nice deal.
So this is a good thing.
It's a big deal, isn't it?
It's a pretty huge deal for all of us. I wasn't too sure how we were going to go, but feeling pretty good right now. But yeah, it's a long rally, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing and not be silly.
Lee and co-driver Kathy Elliott have their VH Commodore in the top 40. They might not be as well placed as the V8 Commodores in the field, but that's okay with them. Russell Winks is driving one of those V8s, and it's a first for him behind the wheel.
The last 2 years I've come down and helped out at the Alpine and serviced, and I thought, yeah, I've got to give this a go. And just the feel just makes you want to be here. And, you know, we're out there, we've got some competition with the other Commodores and the Falcon. So to come first V8, it's a goal.
I think the spectators like the V8s. I know I like them, and they spin a few rocks, and the horsepower's not something we're lacking in. So I've actually got to feed it in because it's impossible to use it all. You can't win in this car, I don't believe. These guys at the front going pretty quick. I haven't seen a single time today. Don't really care. We've had a few fairly big overshoots, intercom failure, which cost us a bit of time. But other than that, having a ball. It's pretty hard not to enjoy. Like this car's just unbelievable. It is. At any time, it's just go. Like you put your foot down and any other car I've ever driven to, you get to a hill and you say, "Come on, let's go." This is not like that at all. This is just pouring it in. Yeah.
It's hard for the former Australian champion and the 1986 Alpine winner to contain his excitement. And the same goes for another former champion team, David and Kate Officer, who've competed in every Alpine since 2001 and 7 of the original events back in their heyday.
It's our best rally in Australia, no doubt, and these roads down here are fantastic. I love these Gippsland roads. It's much better than it used to be at Bright, where it was rough and stony. No, great roads, great fun to drive on.
To finish the event is all the Alpine, is what it's about. I don't know how many more we've got left in us, but we'll keep going until we give up.
Wayne Mason is also excited. An opportunity to upgrade from his Pinto Escort to a genuine RS 1800 from another former Australian rally champion, Ross Dunkerton, was too good to pass up.
Obviously this is a different beast altogether, and I got it about this time last year. We've done 3 events in it and finished every one of them so far. We've been right through the car. Obviously the car had a little bit of history beforehand, and it appears that we sort of seem to be on top of all those bugs that it seemed to have had. You know, like, it's a good car, everything's there. There's no reason why it can't keep going the way it is.
Michael Conway's Alpine story is less positive. After his misadventure in the first stage this morning, he's rejoined.
We just did the last 2 stages, the 40-kilometre one, short and 50, and the one before that. And the front suspension's not real flash, so it's not handling very well. So we're down the field a bit in the stage times.
Lending a hand to Conway is Jeff Portman, one of just 2 people to win the Alpine on 6 occasions.
It was the attraction of a very challenging long mountain event, one where car reliability and crew, including service crew members, car preparation, everything sort of played into it. It wasn't a game where the fastest car won and the most money won. It was, it really was truly a rally, you know, of those older days when rallying included all those ingredients. And I think the Alpine still largely holds that reputation, and that's why it attracts such a large field of cars.
This weekend, Luke Satima is driving the car Jeff Portman last won with in 2011. Currently in 4th outright, Satima is second quickest to Kay Barrett as cars head to SS9 Murangawa. All that in just a moment. Competition in the Alpine Rally of East Gippsland moves back towards Lakes Entrance, 3 remaining stages for the day. Murangawa is long and brings a change to the stage top order. Jesse Roberson is back in the game after the events of SS2 that provided an early blow. Despite the dust from Jason Sims in car 60, Roberson and co-driver Eddie Maguire closed the 2-minute gap and finally pass the Datsun 180B after they activate the rally-safe push to pass button. They win the stage by 2 seconds, but not from rally leader Cade Barrett. For the second time today, Andrew Daniel has stormed up the leaderboard in his Stanza to record a time just 2 seconds behind the 1600. Cade Barrett's 9 seconds behind the Datsuns, but he's staying in front of Alan Friend by just 1 second. Friend, on the other hand, started this stage just 1 second behind Jack Monkhouse, but his good performance sees a positional change. The Nissan Silvia now second, with the Datsun 1600 trailing by 10. In outright terms, the Plymouth still leads by over a minute at the end of SS9. The defending champ, Jeff David, hits a snag in the 911.
It's getting hot now, mate. I think we've lost the fan belt.
The engine temperature skyrockets. Co-driver Grant Gillen monitors the temp gauge and the pair cruise to the end of the stage, losing an overall position to Neil Skye.
It's getting pretty hot now.
Skye and Scott Middleton are 8th fastest in stage and now up to 6th outright. Consistency is Luke Satima's middle name. 5th through the stage and hanging on to his 4th outright, Rowan Woolard is right behind him in stage and overall. The sun starts to sink over the old trestle bridge at Stony Creek as teams make their way to Orbost for final service. Ian Hill has twice won this event many years ago, and he continues to compete in a very similar RS 1800 Escort.
The car's almost identical to the car that I won with in '83, and so the car's basically good enough to win if you drive it fast enough. Obviously now that I'm getting older, I don't drive as fast as I used to back in 1983. When I drive the car now, it still feels like 1983. It's just really difficult to make the final sort of 10% of speed that you need to be right at the pointy end of winning a stages and that. Ultimate commitment, level of brave, I suppose it is, a little bit. And but I'm not too disappointed this weekend.
Hill and co-driver Philip Bonza shouldn't be disappointed either. 10th fastest through the first of the nighttime stages amongst a quality field of drivers. While the first few cars will run the last 2 stages predominantly in daylight, the majority of the field will be run under lights. Alan Friend is in our first car, thanks to Jeff David stopping to fit the new fan belt. Friend has the advantage. With no wind, dust is an issue in the fading light, and sweeping the road is less of a problem than dust. He wins the stage by a massive 24 seconds over second fastest Luke Satima. Road position plays into Alan Friend's hand. Jeff David, Jack Monkhouse and Wayne Hoy are all putting plenty of dust between him and rally leader Cade Barrett. The best Barrett can manage is 6th in stage, and the overall gap now to the man challenging his rally lead is just 22 seconds. By the end of the final stage, Blackfellows, it's down to just 7.
Jeff had an alternator belt go. In that stage he lost time and he had to stop on the transport and change it, so he managed to jump in, so it worked out pretty nicely. Although we had a bit of an excursion just back in there, went straight on again. I've been really well behaved until then, so I'm a bit disappointed with myself.
Alan Friend's off does allow Jeff David through for the final stage win, despite road position and dust.
The standing dust was pretty bad. Anyway, it was all right for us. I'm sure it's only going to get more interesting, but that's part of the sport.
And that sport's looking like this at the end of day 1. Barrett leads Friend with Jack Monkhouse chasing them down, but both Luke Satima and Jeff David are still very much in the fight. Neil Skye's Escort is climbing all over the RX-7 of Rowan Woolard, with Wayne Hoy, Carl Stewart and Andrew Travis rounding out the top 10 in the Alpine Rally of East Gippsland. Amongst a handful of past champions and winning cars is one very special Ford Escort, an RS 1800 that's won plenty of events, including the Alpine, in the hands of champion driver Greg Carr. Current owner John Haddon is under no illusion about his role.
I'm a custodian. It's kind of like being married to Marilyn Monroe. They ring up Marilyn's manager to get her there. So I get to pay all the bills and make sure she looks good and fed and watered and take her to the events, and one day obviously she'll go on to another person.
Another who waxes lyrical about the Alpine is Fro Horriban in his Datsun 180B.
You could have this event with the great roads, but if it didn't have the competitors, if it didn't have the history, it wouldn't quite be the same. It'd still be a fantastic event, but it wouldn't quite be an Alpine.
So this is the left still? Yep. And then we'll go over a bridge down the bottom. Sorry about that.
I think we're punching well above our weight for the For the spec of this car, for the spec of this driver, I think we're doing really well.
The game is only half over, and Tony Quinn is very positive about this event.
It's the first time I've ever been to this part of Victoria, and it's a very, very nice part of Victoria. To me, Victoria's Bendigo and Winton and that sort of dry hill country stuff, and this is very scenic, very nice. And the event is very well run and well supported and well liked. So they've got something happening here that not many people know about.
Jack Monkhouse might be challenging for a podium finish in his Datsun, but further down the field is Neil Cuthbert, who's got a pimped-out version of the 180B.
Datsun 200B, it's the second evolution of the old car. Did the classic Outback trial last year, and it was a brand new car then, straight out of the box. Sequential gearbox, 2.4 litre fuel injected, independent rear end. It's pretty rare. I've had the Evos and I've had the Rexes and all that sort of stuff, so rallying's a bit different to me now.
Satima starts the final day in fourth outright.
We're happy with fourth. We're only just behind Jack time-wise, so our aim is to see how we go against Jack. I don't think we can catch the others, but they're still going to make it to the end, so we'll try and keep in the hunt, and you never know what happens.
His car carries the name of another competitor who's also driving in the event. Grant Walker prepares RS 1800 Escorts, but is also a pretty reasonable steerer in his own right. Mechanical issues yesterday kept him out of the major standings, so today is about compromise.
Well, it's a bit of a balance between trying to aim for some target, which we'd never get in the top 10 because they're minutes ahead of us. On the same token, drive with some reserve and some things, so it's a balance in between those two.
The defending champion has his overheating engine sorted and is pragmatic about today's approach.
Lovely day for a Sunday drive. Maybe we'll stop at church on the way.
6 stages make up day 2. The first 3 loop to the north of Bairnsdale. After a flying visit to the local speedway, a long stage surrounding Bruthen will be run before service, with the finale running from Colquhoun back to Lakes Entrance. Cade Barrett will be hunted down today, a slender 7-second lead over Alan Friend.
Not as much as we would have liked, but we lost a bit of time there late yesterday afternoon, but hopefully we can make that up again at some stage today.
It's not a lot, but Cade's obviously driving extremely well and he's fast, so yeah, we just do what we did yesterday.
We'll just sit back and just do what we did yesterday, try and keep the pace up, but we're not going to go out there and try and set the world on fire. We'll just do our best, keep the road speed up and not make any mistakes.
No mistakes for Monkhouse through SS12, but Cade Barrett's first experience as lead car doesn't go well.
Probably a bit quick into this corner here, and it's quite the tarmac surface with all the gravel on it's quite loose, and we just hit that ditch on the outside, and I wasn't quick enough to get the lock back off it and steered us, flipped that tree over there and just put us on our side.
Next is Friend and Michelle Canning. The rally lead is theirs now, but they're not quick enough in the stage. Jack Monkhouse is 4 quicker than Jesse Roberson, whose up and down rally sees him return to the top 3 in stage. Sadly, ongoing mechanical dramas keep him out of the standings overall. The sight of Barrett's car is enough to slow Luke Satima. He rolled the ex-Jeff Portman Escort recently and is just keen to reach the finish. It's something Neil Skye was hoping to do as well, but a tightening crest catches him and his 7th outright becomes 11th. The time it takes to limp out of stage to repair the broken lower control arm bolt. No longer sweeping the road, Jeff David closes the gap on Satima to just 22 seconds overall. None of the front runners win through in SS13. Roberson top 3 again in the Datsun 1600, with Andrew Daniel Stanza second quicker.
Well done. That was awesome. Really, really awesome.
In contrast to the dark green shades of the forest, Rowan Woolard's Mazda RX-7 is loud in sight and sound. Fastest men on the road, he and Rob Parry are another second quicker than Daniel across the 21Ks.
A surprise this morning is the TR7 of Matt Ruggles, up into 7th through Tabarabara and splitting the fast cars of Friend and David in the V8 Triumph. There's another triumph in the field too. Tony Jordan driving a car built to compete in the 1993 25th anniversary London-Sydney Marathon. These days she's retired to local and state duties in country New South Wales. RX-7s dominate the Burnett's Bridge stage. Woolard first with Porter third. Monkhouse's 180B splits the fast rotaries, but whether the surprise distraction of a mate encouraging him on mid-stage cost him 4 seconds, we'll never know. Either way, he's quicker than Alan Friend, who has an overshoot.
Sorry.
And that hands Monkhouse and Dale Moscott the rally lead by 5 seconds. Grant Walker makes a surprise appearance, 4th in stage 14. And Brian Van Eck starts to push into the top 10. On day 1 he managed a 6th, but his seeding at 35th meant he struggled all day catching the dust of cars in front. After a break from competition for 4 years and not having driven a two-wheel drive for 12 years, Van Eck starts to show in the standings. His start position, 11 today, is helping that cause.
700 metres caution. Preston Road goes left.
Jeff David's back-to-back title hopes end in SS14 when he hits a gutter.
Broken.
He and Geerlin make the finish, but they slip down the order. Carl Stewart is slipping down the order too, from 6th outright to 8th after an overshoot in SS15 Bald Head. But at least the fuel pump is connected the right way round today. Finally, Stewart can show his true colours.
The last little bit was actually had a lot of grip with no tread, so that was good fun.
Jesse Roberson claims the stage in another 1600 ahead of the 2 RX-7s, all on new rubber. The Nissan Silvia of Alan Friend is 7 seconds behind Monkhouse, but the clutch is slipping.
The services now, but you know, if they can change it, but I don't have enough time, late running time to do it. So, yeah, I think that might be it.
With new rubber, Andrew Travis moves to 7th outright.
Roads are a little bit more than what we're used to, so having a bit better of a go. I think we might have had a bit of advantage in there. We got new tyres when a lot of other guys didn't, so hopefully we picked up a few places.
In a good rhythm.
Monkhouse doesn't change tyres and drops 43 seconds to the fastest cars.
We just stayed within the rules of the road book and not put tyres on, and the other guys put tyres on, so it's interesting, that's for sure. We've done the whole morning on the same set, they've all put new ones on.
Really?
Road book says no servicing.
Mind you, an overshoot mid-stage didn't help either.
No, that's better. Yeah, it is. Turn around. You know. Was there tape there? There is. There's tape in the wrong spot.
Long way to go yet, we'll just keep the pressure on and have some fun.
SS16 is the speedway, and Luke Satima is quickest of our top 10 in the Alpine Rally. Ed Mulligan and Tony Quinn are equal third behind Satima. In the short 40-second stage, there's a chance for others to shine or just show off. Inland from Lake's entrance is Bruthen. Its population of around 600 swells after lunch as 100 cars, crews and service personnel converge on the tiny settlement in preparation for the final 2 stages of the Alpine Rally of East Gippsland. Alan Friend might have come into service with a failing clutch, but it's Jack Monkhouse and Dale Moscott who discover things aren't going their way either.
Yeah, we had a big push this morning and it's resulted in us just taking the lead. We just found a little problem in here which we're hoping is just going to stay as a little problem. It's a bit of a fingers crossed thing. We're going to have to put all the brake bias to the front and hope that sort of limits the wear on this crack in the rear brake disc here. So not ideal, but we knew it was a long rally and we're going to keep pushing on.
Neville Wittenbury is in a similar 180B, ironically with a similar brake issue.
Just run out of rear brakes. The pads have just worn down the metal, so hopefully we can change that.
His rally has not been as successful as Monkhouse after teething problems with his new engine.
Carbies fell off the manifold, so we had to repair that.
Still, it's a rally he wouldn't miss.
To be involved with a rally of that calibre, it's got a bit of a special meaning to it. Obviously you'd love to win it one day, but I just don't think I've got the guts to go that fast. But I'm having fun, and that's all you have to do to this. You have to come here, have fun. If you can finish in the top 10, you're winning.
The expectation that the current ARC Classic Series winner would feature well in his first Alpine hasn't eventuated. Languishing well outside the top 20, Clay Badenoch has struggled with new tyres after being offered a deal to run MRF rubber. The outcome was a disaster yesterday when the Celica RA40 finished 24th, but a change to Dunlops this morning has reversed that, 6th through the opening stage.
The compound we chose, the mediums, were too hard, and then we've tried the Dunlops on it today, and the results speak for themselves. So we're having a better day and we're enjoying it, and we're smiling. We just got to keep put tyres on it now.
Winning the Alpine is something that's been a seesaw expectation for Alan Friend for more than just this year, and at the end of SS15 he thought it was all over once again.
I think that could be the end anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
He battled around the speedway and made it to service, where the crew was able to repair it well enough to start SS17. He rewards their good work with a win by 6 seconds from Jack Monkhouse. Monkhouse can't afford the rear brake disc rotor to break. That will end his rally, but old habits die hard and he grabs for the hydraulic handbrake on a hairpin.
Don't use that one. Sorry.
Again, Jesse Roberson claims a stage top 3, and Grant Walker is just 3 seconds in front of the sister car driven by Luke Satima. One stage to go and no antics from Satima. He can't catch Alan Friend and is unlikely to be caught by 4th place Brian Van Eck. Another stellar stage run from Andrew Daniel will see him finish the Alpine inside the top 10. Car 47, the postmodern Altezza, in almost stock trim, is being driven to the max. Brian Van Eck and James Thorburn are 3rd fastest through the final stage, but it's Luke Satima who locks away the 3rd podium spot for the rally. The battle for the win is down to Monkhouse and Friend, with official times hard to confirm. Friend has himself with a half-minute lead, and Monkhouse thinks he trails by only a second. In fact, Monkhouse is 6 in front. Alan Friend is first car on the road and drives conservatively, preserving a perceived lead and hopeful victory.
I didn't push real hard, but I would hope he couldn't get a second K back on us.
Jack Monkhouse throws caution to the wind for the final assault. Everything is on the line. A stump stops the old 180B before it ends his run on a tree.
1 kilometre.
Somehow the Datsun keeps going.
We drove the wheels off, and I probably backed off a bit much with that brake problem in the last one, so I went in that stage with the wrong bias and ran a bit wide, so I reckon if they had no dramas they would have got it for sure, but I don't know what the time was when we come into it.
It's unclear just who's won.
If he beat us, to be perfectly honest, if he had a second up on us, or we were a second up on him at the start of this one, I wouldn't have got him anyway, because the clutch was flipping. He would have pinned it, and he had a real crack. It looks like he was lucky to get away with one. So, he had a go, and I wouldn't have got him. So, either way, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Jacko, I think we have done it. Yeah, I think we took 20 something.
With the results still to be officially sealed, Moscot's door has been definitely sealed by the stump, and only one thing's certainly for sure.
Well, I reckon those two beat me. That's a definite assumption.
That's easy. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Well done.
Cheers, boys. Cheers.
Moscot was right. He and Monkhouse have done it, winning their first Alpine and joining a celebrated list of elite teams to have won the coveted crown over the last 95 years. Friend and Canning can take some solace in fighting the closest battle in the memory of the event for a credible second, with Satima and Wright 3rd. And a great performance from Brian Van Eck to edge out Wayne Hoy in the dying stages.
Further back, the field spreads, but Travis, Porter, Horrobin, Walker and Daniel all earn accolades for making top 10. The Alpine Rally, run and won in the coastal region of Victoria's stunning East Gippsland for another year. This year, reinforcing its place as the pinnacle of Australian rallying.